Alex Hicks. She's a Nanaimo-based independent singer-songwriter who, from what I understand, is making the big move to Toronto. But before she does that, Matt Carter is here for a featured chat. A civic election will be here before we know it, and already the buzz is big. What kind of candidates are we going to have on the ballot this time around? Some people say we need new blood, we need better choices, and we need a new vision or some vision. And they're actually taking steps to ensure that. Past chair of the Nanaimo Chamber of Commerce, Andrea Rosato-Taylor, is here, and so is former Nanaimo Mayor and City Councillor Gary Korpan. If you've been or are pregnant and are sick or have been sick with a cold or a flu at the same time, you know that you pretty much have to tough it out. Or do you? We're going to talk flu immunizations for pregnant women on today's show. We have a blind water taste test as well. Can you tell the difference between tap or bottled? VIU is gearing up for a Ban the Bottle campaign. We've also got hockey. The season has started. Dan Marshall is here. He's the voice of the Nanaimo Clippers. You'll also hear him on 106.9 The Wolf in Nanaimo, and I think he's pretty excited about it. It's all hockey. And finally, this, if you don't know already, is a spin bike. Now, this is Nicole. She's a personal trainer and a spin instructor at the Nanaimo Athletic Club, and they are getting ready for a Spin-A-Thon. So Nicole is here. She's going to give us some insight into what spinning is all about, and she'll spin and spin and spin and spin throughout the course of the next hour. So all of that is coming up right now on the show.
We've got beautiful music here again on the show. And fall is back, and so is the flu season. A new report has been released a few weeks ago from the U.S. Department of Disease Control, highlighting the dangers of flu during pregnancy and urging women to take a flu shot while they're pregnant. To talk about this issue, we've got here today a public health care nurse from Nanaimo, Chris CRABTREE. Welcome, Chris.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming. So, I mean, fall season is upon us, the flu season is here. What are the dangers of having a flu while you're pregnant?
Right. As you know, there are several groups of people who are considered high risk for influenza complications, and pregnancy over the last few years has been included in that group. They are definitely at a higher risk for heart and lung problems if they should contract influenza while pregnant. Definitely H1N1 showed us that, as definitely that was a very vulnerable population with a very high percentage of hospitalization compared to the other, similar women in the same age group.
So, I mean, talk to us about the benefits of getting the flu shot while you're pregnant.
Right.
How is that better than not having it?
Okay, so the flu shot is very good, and it's very worthwhile for all pregnant women to consider. Definitely the risk becomes compounded as they progress through their pregnancy. So the third trimester is considered the highest risk of the 3 trimesters of pregnancy. And also there is kind of an added benefit for the fact there are some studies to indicate that there may be some passive immunity passed on to the baby for the first 6 months of the baby's life. And also we have to realize that a lot of mums who are pregnant also have other health conditions such as asthma, gestational diabetes, etc., that also put them at higher risk for these complications. So it's a good idea to think about.
I mean, a lot of people sometimes they think, so what, I'll tough it out. I mean, what do you think about that? Okay,
well, influenza itself, I mean, we hear the flu all the time. We say, okay, people, I've had the flu. And you had a little 24-hour gastric thing. You had maybe a bit of runs, bit of, the diarrhea, the vomiting, and you say, oh, I had the flu. That's not true influenza. True influenza, you are going to be out. You're going to be on that couch. You have high fever, chest condition, you are not well. You're not going to work, you are not well. And compound that with a pregnancy, with the added weight and the pressure of the baby, it is something that if women can avoid, it's certainly a good thing to try and do.
And some people might also say, they worry about the safety of that vaccine.
Right.
you know, are there some side effects?
The vaccine is very safe. It's a killed virus vaccine. There's no live virus in the vaccine. We actually have a special preparation, if you want to put it that way, for pregnant women this year. It's called AgriFlu. This is the first time we've used this product, and it is thimerosal free. And there are women who have been concerned in the past with a very small amount of mercury that may have been in the flu vaccine. That will not be an issue this year at all. The vaccine's very safe. Side effects, maybe a bit of a sore arm, usually at the injection site, where you say might be a bit of tenderness, redness, put a cold cloth or something on it. Very, very small chance of feeling a bit fluey, achy, unwell for about a day or so.
And is there a preferable time to take it, you know, a specific trimester that it's preferable to take the vaccine?
Right. A lot of women are quite cautious of getting anything done in their first trimester, just because of that's when most, you know, if they're going to have a miscarriage, that's oftentimes what happens. So they're a little anxious about that. So they need to discuss with their doctor the risks and benefits for them in the first trimester. But definitely any time after that, and certainly we recommend all women who are going to be in their third trimester during flu season, which is November to April. It's a long time to come in and get the vaccine.
I mean, if you get the flu vaccine, is there a possibility that you're going to get the flu after that?
And this is a really good question. Number one, you cannot get influenza from the flu vaccine. It is a killed virus vaccine, you can't get it. So some people kind of interpret those kind of flu-like symptoms for a day or so that they've actually had the flu, and why did I get the flu shot? Well, that's not the situation. But yes, we do have a certain part of the population who will not get immunity. So therefore, it's really, really important for these women who are at high risk, whether it be chronic health care condition or pregnancy, that those people right around them, they're people who live in the same household, spend a lot of time with them, family members, etc., get the vaccine. So if they don't maybe get the best of uptake, those other people hopefully got a good uptake and will not bring the flu to them and expose them.
That's great. Well, we've got a lot to talk about, but unfortunately we have time ran out. So thank you so much, Chris, for being here.
Well,
and if people want to get more information, they can go to the VIHA website, so viha.ca, to check, you know, where you can go, the closest area. And your campaign starts on October 18th.
October 18th.
Great. So now we're going to go to Matt Carter, who's with Alex Hicks. And Matt, I know, I suspect that you're not pregnant, but are you thinking of getting the flu shot?
I probably should, I guess. Thanks very much, Dunia. Anyways, yes, here we are at the show again with the aforementioned Alex Hicks, who you've heard perform earlier. Not to be confused with the Alex Hicks who did play a couple games with the Pittsburgh Penguins and my Ducks of Anaheim back in the early 90s. That's some
there's
trivia.
a lot of Alex Hickses, actually.
Exactly, yeah. For any internet researcher, it was a hard person to talk to. But yes, Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great guitar playing. Do you remember actually the first time that you and I ever met?
Probably. Would it be like a drunken night at the bar or something like that?
Since I never drink, no, but it was at the bar. Yes, it was at the VIU pub, and and you had just moved out here from Ontario. So,
were you playing with your band?
I was indeed. Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah, Kill Lifters.
Memory is good, exactly. So why was it that brought you out to the West Coast from Ontario?
Originally, it was for the music program at VIU. I did my 2-year diploma there, and after that point, I was pretty done with jazz and wanted to record an album, so I did that, and now I'm off to other fields.
Back in Ontario, exactly.
Yes.
Which we will get back to that in a moment. Now, of course, as any good journalist does, I did a lot of research into your Facebook page.
Oh.
And with that, you only have one inspiration listed, and that's Ani DiFranco. So tell us about the influence that Ani DiFranco has on your music.
She's huge. I mean, she's strong with her lyrics. She's also fierce on her guitar. She's also involved in a lot of really great things for women and political journeys. I don't know. She's just all around really impressive, and she's also got a huge discography of music to listen to, which I still haven't listened to all of it, but.
Absolutely, yeah. There's the Oxford English Dictionary, then there's Ani DiFranco. Both fighting for a number of words. So then would you say your songwriting then, so follows her path a lot,
right.
a lot of women's issues or particular themes into your songwriting?
Yeah, I guess my own personal experience with being a young woman a lot of the time gets tapped into. Lyrically, I don't know. I'm now getting more into electric guitar, so more sound oriented, but this album in particular that you're holding here is more lyric based. So
exactly, yeah. This album here from the band Raw Honey.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Raw Honey. And overall, I mean, you're going back to Ontario, but you've had quite a bit of prolific success playing with groups here in central Vancouver Island. So just list some of the groups you've played with and maybe some of the experiences you've had there.
Kendall Patrick is the first one that comes to mind. We're doing a little tour around the island. Our next show is October 8th. It's a Friday in Duncan.
Saturday? Saturday?
No.
Is it Friday?
I think it's a Friday. October 8th.
October
anyway.
8th anyways, yeah.
At the Duncan Garage showroom. So Kendall Patrick, John Bone, I've done a few backups for him. I also am in a little group called Lioness with Emily Smythe. And
so it's
the rest is history.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All sorts of stuff, and mostly the same sort of singer-songwriter sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But again, with Raw Honey, more of a rock sound to it.
Rock sound, yeah. I've got a bass player named Tristan Armstrong on this album, a drummer named Spencer Bowman. They're both in their own number of bands. So we kind of organized the group Raw Honey for the purpose of recording the album. We hope to play at least one show before I take off in Ontario. But
nice. And if people want to either hear the tracks on the album or pick up one of the discs, where can they do that?
Fascinating Rhythm, or you can Facebook me, and I can.
So I won't be the only person that reaches the Facebook page. Everyone else can go to it as well. Yeah.
Or if you look out for posters for shows, I'll always have them at the shows.
Sure,
so,
absolutely. And so now you're heading back to Ontario. Is it Toronto you're going to?
Toronto, yeah. Well,
Toronto.
2.5 hours south of Toronto, Prince Edward County.
Okay. Can you look at the camera and give a Go Leafs Go shout?
Go Leafs Go.
Okay, no, I won't leave for that. Go Leafs Go. That'll make our producer Todd Jones very happy. But yeah, and so out in Toronto, you're going to play some more music. Do you have any bands lined up, or are you just going to keep rocking on with the solo stuff?
I'm going to rock on with my solo stuff for a little while. If I meet up with some crazy good musicians, we might jam and see what happens. But for now, it's just kind of get in with the crowd and promote this music.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you've been a great addition to the Vancouver Island music scene for a while now. So
Thanks,
sad to see you go. We'll watch out for you online and other venues. So again, it's time for another full song. So again, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Hicks here on the show on Shaw TV.
I'm going to do a cover tune, and it goes out to Kendall. With your feet in the air and your head on the ground, try this trick and spin it, yeah. Your head will come off, there'll be nothing in it, and you'll ask yourself, where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind now? Way out in the water, see it swimming. Well, I went swimming in the Caribbean, and animals were hiding behind the rocks, except the little fish. Well, they told me he lies, better not talk to me, coy, coy. Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Way out in the water, see it swimming. With your feet in the air and your head on the ground, try this trick and spin it, yeah.
Oh, I love, love, love having music on this show. Thank you, Alex. That was for Kendall, amazing Alex Hicks, and we'll have the pleasure of more music from Alex later on today in the show. You are watching the show here on Shaw TV Channel 4 in Nanaimo in our studio on Beauban Drive. You can check out past episodes on Facebook. We're actually going to start with YouTube at Shaw TV CVI Channel 4. We're also on Twitter at Shaw TV_CVI and our Facebook page, Shaw TV Central Vancouver Island. We'll be posting this episode even there as well. We're going to check in really quick with Nicole, who's got a steady pace going. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm getting warmed up.
And how long would a normal warm-up be? You've been at it about 15 minutes now.
So I'm past the warm-up stage. It's about 8 to 10. I'm feeling my heart rate come up a bit.
Okay, and now I've taken a lot of classes with Nicole. If this was for real, there's sweat dripping off your face and it doesn't stop for about another 45 minutes. There's lots more to come on the show. Up next, raising the caliber of candidates in Nanaimo's upcoming municipal election.
Hi, I'm Rob O's.
And I'm Andrew McLean, and we're O's and McLean at Royal LePage.
We invite you to watch O's and McLean's Two Men and Their Fishing Rods.
Only on Shaw TV.
Another lost lake.
Just waiting to be discovered.
But most importantly, fished.
O's and McLean's Two Men and Their Fishing Rods on Shaw TV Channel 4.
The warm-ups to me is a big family. It's people who I can relate to, who have amputations like me. It's inspiring just to see what all these other amputees have accomplished.
I'm glad to know that there's more kids like me.
It's boosted my self-confidence. It's allowed me to reach goals that I never thought possible.
My prosthetic limbs, the warm-ups gave me, helped me so much. I can do running, snowboarding.
Play guitar, ride my bike, skip rope. Play soccer. I can run really fast. Sometimes I play football in the backyard.
I play hockey, baseball.
I wakeboard.
I really like my legs because they help me do all kinds of stuff.
Your amputation doesn't hold you back. You can do whatever you want.
I can do what you can do, and that's what the warm-ups does for people.
Hi, I'm Joe Cunningham, inviting you to watch Joe Cunningham Ford's The Enthusiast.
This show will rev you up as various fast cars are featured. From Porsches to Lamborghinis and everything in between, host Jeff Hill will take you under the hood and into the seat of these classic cars to show you why they're so hot on the road. Joe Cunningham Ford's The Enthusiast, only on Shaw TV.
And now, back to the show, only on Shaw TV.
Andrea Rosato-Taylor is the past chair at the Nanaimo Chamber of Commerce and is a driving force behind the upcoming Nanaimo's Community Vision Rally taking place October 5th at the Vancouver Island Conference Center. Now, the event is organized by a nonpartisan group of local businesses and professional organizations. Andrea will MC the event. Now, it's no accident that the rally is taking place as the municipal election quickly approaches. Andrea, what is the purpose of the rally on October the 5th?
Well, it's really about empowerment. It's about getting the community to get on board and to agree that they're a part of creating the vision and to stop sitting on the sidelines and complaining. You hear all the time that people don't like city council, they don't like city staff, but they're really not adding anything to the solution. So this is about trying to get people to feel that they're part of the solution.
Why now? I mean, I've been in Nanaimo 12 years. I've heard this talk, lack of vision, not capable council for years. Why is it? What's changed in our demographic, our environment, the landscape of Nanaimo as a community?
Well, I think it's really a global change. I think that it's that governments don't have the dollars that they have anymore. I actually sell advertising and work with people all the time, all types of groups, social groups, small businesses, cultural groups, and you hear everybody saying that there's no money and they're all trying to survive. And you know, everybody's looking for answers. and they want someone to lead them. And I think that you know, it was interesting at a rally recently, Christy Clark said, you know, don't look to government to fix your problems. So it kind of came out of that the community has to fix its problems, and it's no secret Nanaimo has a very high unemployment rate, and businesses need to be able to move and grow, and we're looking for answers.
Do people look to council for those answers? Is that what?
I don't think they have. I think they complain about it, but they actually don't ask City Council before they run, what is your vision? What are your plans? Why are you running? How are you going to help us, whatever us is, whatever group that is, or individuals that is? And we want City Council to create a vision for themselves, individually and collectively. We want city staff to have a vision as well. And we also want the citizens of Nanaimo to have a vision. And we really want people to work together to try to get this, and to stop doing it's their fault, they're wrong. That attitude isn't going to get us anywhere, right?
I think I've checked out the Facebook page. Matt Carter alluded earlier, checking out the research. There's 167 people already attending this event. It's a pretty big turnout. We're still a couple of weeks out. That tells me that Nanaimo's ready. Is it next October the 5th? It tells me that Nanaimo's ready and embracing this change. Do you think that that's the case? Are people coming out out of curiosity? Are they coming out because they want to stand up and be a part of the change? Are we still observing from the sidelines to see where council will take us?
I think they want to be counted. I don't think there's always going to be looky-loos. There's always going to be those that are sitting from the sidelines taking shots, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's more people. I think this committee of concerned citizens that you're talking about is a part of that. I think that our group decided to stop sitting at the sidelines and to do something about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Does that mean there's opinions that there is no vision currently on council, that there aren't the capabilities, the skills, the progressiveness to even develop a vision? Do you think that that's true? Well,
I mean, again, my position is really one of collaboration. I don't want to be in the position of singling out individuals or even collectively say that they aren't doing a good job. It's a tough job. It's high demand. They have no personal life at all. But I also blame the citizens. We haven't done a good job of telling them what we want. There's always an unspoken group that, you know, of us business people that we don't stand up and we don't get counted, and yet individual members of our citizenry go and talk about what they want, and so City Council listens to them because that's who's there.
Mm-hmm. Change on everybody's part, looks like. It's going to be very exciting. It's coming up November the 18th is the civic election. I'm going to get back to the event.
Okay.
Some big keynote speakers.
Great.
Maybe you could touch on who they are and why you chose them and what they can bring to the table that Nanaimo can use.
Well, Michael Harcourt will be our keynote speaker, and he's very well known. Recently, I'll just read a couple things because it'll be easier for me to do that. He brings sustainable community planning, and he's author and world-famous urban expert. And he brings optimists about the future. He's done a lot on sustainability, so he's going to kind of come and kick Nanaimo in the butt about those issues and tell us that we're falling behind many of the other cities, so we need to move forward. And then we wanted Michael Harcourt to talk about leadership and how to do that in the community. That's the role he's taking. And then we've kind of drilled down a bit with the mayor of Ken Melamad from Whistler to talk about how they created their vision for their city and how they did that collaboratively.
We've got about 1 minute left. Keying in on the word vision. Has Nanaimo ever had one? Do we have one now?
I would say we do not have one now. And I can't speak if they've ever had one. I certainly heard that there were things that were coined before, like Imagine Nanaimo.
Plan Nanaimo was another one.
Plan Nanaimo, I mean, Nanaimo, but I don't know that those are visions. I think those are mantras maybe. And actually we do have a mantra too. Ours is lead, run, and vote.
And when you say ours, this is a nonpartisan group of people who work well together, as simple as that?
Yeah, coming from different different kinds of paths and kind of collectively come together, yes.
Is there an we've got about 30 seconds left. I promised I would not go over on today's show. Is this a call for new blood on council, for big change, new people, new faces, new?
I think it's a call for change. I think that change can come in many packages. It can be a mix of new and old. You know, there's wisdom in the history of the people that are there, but I do think that we do want to see new people as well.
Great. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you,
It did
Kate.
fly by. We weren't sure if our time was going to drag on a bit or if we were going to fly by, and I think we can say that time did fly by today. We're going to take a short break now, and we will be back with the former mayor of Nanaimo and past city councillor, Gary Korpan.
Hi, I'm Al Dakota from Terminals Quality Assured Collision Services, inviting you to watch Terminals Quality Assured Collision Service Arts Now.
With music, theater, and entertainment in your community. From local bands and actors on stage to the talented work of artists in the Mid-Island area. Know what's happening when and where so you won't miss a thing. Terminal Quality Assured Collision Arts Now, only on Shaw TV.
Crime happens, but where it happens and who becomes the victim can be influenced by you and your community. As the eyes and ears of their neighborhoods, Block Watch programs assist police by reporting suspicious activity.
I'm witnessing a theft from a vehicle.
To learn more about crime prevention in your neighborhood, contact your local police department or the Block Watch Society of BC.
Welcome back to the show. What show? The Show. Only on Shaw TV. The Show, only on Shaw TV.
We are talking vision today in light of the upcoming municipal election, and my next guest, while being accused by some of not having any, is undeniably experienced. Gary Korpan was the mayor of Nanaimo for 15 years and sat on council for 9 before that. I'd like to make it clear that Mr. Korpan is not associated with the upcoming Nanaimo's Community Vision Rally on October 5th, but the event is very much open to the public. Mr. Korpan is here to provide insight to the workings of an arguably ineffective council. I'd also like to note that we did try to bring a current member of council onto the show today as our guest, and they are all in Vancouver at a Union of BC Municipalities convention, and I've picked up on Twitter that one of the main agenda topics is the deer cull, or potential of, that many municipalities are facing. Nonetheless, Gary, thank you so much, and that we are glad to have you here.
Well, thanks for the invite, Kate.
Today. There's a lot of talk of vision, new blood, old blood in your experience, and I do acknowledge that you've been out of the game for about 3 years now. Is Nanaimo City Council effective?
Well, it depends on the issue, and of course anything that I say is going to be considered sour grapes or whatever, but it seems to me that it's quite widely viewed in the community that there is a lot of dysfunction on the current council compared to, say, the previous 3 councils. There are different factions on the current council that we didn't have previously that make decision-making exceedingly difficult. You need 5 votes for anything, and with 3 different factions with personal animosities, etc., on the current council, it's very hard to get a majority for anything. That's why you see this rehashing of the same issue after time after time after time.
I'm going to pick up on what you said, personal animosities. Should that even be a factor in municipal politics?
Well, that's life. You know, a lot of times individuals, even if they're on the same end of the political spectrum, have personal differences that sometimes can erupt. And this particular council seems to have had a bad session right off of the start about, you know, various personal vendettas against senior staff, flowing over into wasting taxpayers' money to deal with some of their personal things, and the majority of council not standing up to them. So.
Do you think, and maybe it's up for debate, whether Nanaimo has a vision at the moment, but with a clear vision in place, that stuff wouldn't be happening, and we could be more progressive and move a little bit more
even
forward?
when there was general consensus about things like Plan Nanaimo, even when there was consensus on that, there was many differences of opinion on a multitude of other issues. You've got to remember that the City of Nanaimo is a major corporation with dozens of business divisions, and there's a multitude of issues, and with 9 usually independently minded council members, they all have their own priorities, their own preferences, and they have differences of opinion. It's just when it gets into such splits as occurred in the last 2.5 years that it gets to be a problem for the community.
Do you think that's the way it should be?
No. I mean, I would think that you would try to give the members of council as much objective information and hope that they make the decisions on the merits of the issue as opposed to letting their personal opinions get in the way of the facts.
What do you think about the term new blood?
Oh, well, I mean, there's constant need for change. I mean, any institution needs a turnover with new perspective, new ideas, etc. The question is, do you have the balance of people with experience who know who the rip-off artists are that have been there before a dozen times, and the new people who have some new ideas to spur the initiatives that need to be done. There's a constant need for people with the proper focus of serving the community as opposed to their maybe personal vested interests, et cetera, or some group that they're shilling for. As long as we are, I used to think that you could have systems and rules and regulations to ensure good government, but I learned over the years that it really comes down to the quality of the people that you elect. You'd have to have people with good motives running for your provincial, federal, and local government offices. And the vast majority of people running for public office do have the interests of their community at stake, but there's oftentimes a number of people that are there because they're advocating for, say, one of the employee groups, you know, and we have, you know, some pretty major decisions that are very costly to the general taxpayer. If we've got people on council that are making decisions that benefit, say, the Canadian Union of Public Employees instead of the taxpayers in Nanaimo, you're going to get bad decisions.
We've got about 3 minutes left.
Sure.
Capable candidates. I don't want to bring in any particular names, but some of the people on council now have been there for 30 years, 21 years. Can they really move this city forward?
Well, it varies from individual to individual. I mean, clearly you can have people there that
the same could be said for you.
Oh, absolutely, and it has been said.
Yes.
You know, there's all kinds of people that disagree with the initiatives that I've taken over the years, and you know, and one thing I've learned about in Nanaimo, whatever you do, there's always 25 to 30% of the population that can be opposed to whatever you do. So you just have to make sure that you're doing the right thing, that you can sleep at night, have a good conscience, and think you're doing the best for the community, and encourage a majority of council to go along with that. It's the decision to try and encourage others to support your ideas and initiatives that's important. If people aren't even talking to each other, if they're not even making the effort to cooperate and communicate, that's when you got a systemic breakdown.
Final question, I got a 2-minute cue a minute ago. What about the concept of forming a vision and then having councillors come into that vision so that all the dysfunction isn't taken to the council chambers in the first place?
Well, I think Andrea had it summed up best. If you've got candidates for public office, no matter which public office, and they can't explain in specifics, in detail, what their vision, how they see their community or their province or their country improving, giving some hope with specific detail, then don't vote for them. Because usually, anybody talking about vision is talking about platitudes. Right. Unless they have specifics, unless they have specific courses of action and solutions, people need to ask their candidates, what is your solution to 16% unemployment? What are you going to do about getting downtown revitalization finished instead of letting it sit dormant after, you know, all this effort that's been put into place, all these millions of dollars, et cetera?
Getting the RAP sign.
What is your division? What is your detailed, specific economic development plan? How are you going to deal with these things?
Sounds like we're asking for more from the voters. Vote on more than just name recognition, someone you know, someone who's been a friend of the family in the Old Boys Club in Nanaimo, and vote for what these candidates stand for.
People often think that voting is solely a right. It's also a responsibility. You have to take the time to find out the people that want to represent you are acting in your best interests. If you don't ask the questions, they're not going to volunteer it.
And your best interest, well, is that you personally or the community as a whole?
Exactly.
Gary, I have to ask, are you running again?
Well, I'm still consulting with family and friends, but it depends on the mood of the moment.
And that's the answer I expected, but I can always hope for, you know, some bigger news here on the show. I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch for sure. There's lots more to come on the show. We're going to throw things over now, once again, to the very talented Alex Hicks. Thank you. Good job. Now, this is not the kind of music, Nicole, that you're probably used to spinning to. It's a little bit more hardcore, a little bit more techno, and we're not quite set up for that technically. Nicole, I think some people are scared of spin. When I started going to the gym, I looked in and said, that's not me, I'll do the milder class upstairs. And I have been doing spin now.
Yes.
Is it scary?
So it's not as scary as people think. You have the option of adjusting your own tension. So for example, the instructor will say, we're staying at a level 8, and if you feel more comfortable at a level 5 or 6, of course that's okay.
Now, you're working more than just your legs. There's some core that happens. There's even some arms and upper body that happens. Tell me a bit about what your muscles are doing in this process.
So we're focusing on keeping our upper body nice and relaxed, but of course we are leaning slightly onto the bars, keeping our core nice and engaged, and then leaning forward, letting our shoulders relax, protecting our lower back, but mostly using our legs.
And you've done push-ups on the bike?
Yep, you can warm the upper body up a little bit, bringing your chest down to the bar, keeping your chin up, keeping your back nice and flat, and then of course focusing on your breathing.
You've just come back from Vancouver. There's such a thing as an actual spin course for instructors?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
It was a lot of fun, all ages. There was, I believe, a lady who was 65 years old taking the course. That's great. Which was awesome. Yeah. All ages. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
She's sweating and talking at the same time. This is great. Usually, people look at an exercise program as an overall way to achieve a goal. I want to tone up, I want to lose weight, I want to redistribute things. How does spinning, say, twice a week on its own fit into getting into those skinny jeans?
It's a great form of your cardiovascular exercise. So you're burning up to about 400 to 500 calories per class. So if you're looking for weight loss, great option. You're working on strength, you're working on endurance, and it's just a lot of fun, believe it or not.
And Nicole does sometimes back-to-back classes. You do a class at 5:30, again at 6:30, and I'm in awe of your physicality, and she teaches a great class. It times out with the music. One of the things you can experience in an exercise class is boredom. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Well, just when you get bored and you think you know your routine, you switch it up, and it is a lot of fun. There's a Spin-A-Thon coming up, and we're going to move over now to the main set and talk with Paul, who is the manager at the Nanaimo Athletic Club, and I think it's a first time event. I've actually never heard of a Spin-A-Thon before.
Yeah, it's the very first time we're hosting this event. We're really just wanting to create something, an event, to bring the community together for a good cause. The community's been very, very good to us at the Nanaimo Athletic Club, and it's time to give back.
Now, one of the things that we don't have on the bike here, and I'm so glad to see Nicole sweating, because in the class she doesn't sweat quite like this. It's the lights, it's the hot lights, is there's wires coming out of the bikes, and you're actually generating wattage.
Yes, although we don't have one on the bike that we have here today, the bikes that we have in the club, we have 15 stationary bikes with a green technology system that through people's energy output gives energy back into our system and helps power the building. So trying to go a bit green. And with the Spin-A-Thon, we're asking that people generate pledges based on the amount of wattage they're producing. Of course, we'll accept any form of help, whether it be flat donation. If anyone wants to come in and just spend $10, donate $10 for their own sake to participate on their own, that's more than welcome. But ideally, we'll have people getting pledges based off of their own energy output, which would be amazing. So
we have about a minute and a half left. We'll cover off some of the hard facts about the event coming up. It's October 15th and 16th. Yep. It's 24 hours, and people get scared because they think they're supposed to be doing it for 24 hours. Not
Definitely. We're hoping to run the event for a full 24 hours. If you want to come in and do an hour, do a half hour, do 2 hours, whatever you're comfortable with. If people do want to get involved, they can book with us at Nanaimo Athletic Club at reception. Give us a call at 250-716-1111 and just get involved. Any help is always appreciated. So.
And it's for a good cause. I don't associate cancer necessarily with, I mean, I know you're a fitness club, but you're a health club, and you're looking at overall healthy lifestyles. Tell me a bit about how cancer is linked then to the objectives of the club.
Well, so much in the fitness industry, we see individuals that are affected by cancer. I don't think there's anyone in the community, anyone in the world that doesn't know someone who's been affected by cancer. And you know, what we're doing with the funds, every ounce of the funds generated through this event is going to go directly towards buying new chemotherapy chairs for the local cancer clinic. So we're keeping all the funds local within the community, and that's a good thing. So.
You guys are actually going direct. You're not handing the money to somebody else to buy a chair. You're going to go and order the chair yourself.
We're going to buy the chairs ourselves. They're approximately $2,000 each, and we're hoping to get quite a few of them and get that to the clinic. So.
Well, thanks for coming on today, Paul. You've been hanging around for quite a while, and it's a short interview, but I just want to put a bit of a personal plug out there that I'm going to be signing up for the Spin-A-Thon. So everybody here, $10 please, and I'll be following up on that in a little bit. We're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, can you tell the difference between tap or bottle? It's a blind water taste test.
Hi, I'm Steve Graham, inviting you to watch Miller's Pub Game On, only on Shaw TV.
It's about local athletes and local teams, and it's a lot more than just the score. Game On focuses on the unique personalities in our sports community. From football to table tennis, from basketball to curling, we cover Vancouver Island like no one else. Game On goes beyond the headline to the heart of the athlete. Miller's Pub Game On, only on Shaw TV.
It was the biggest race of the year, and no matter what, I was gonna win. And that's when I realized that some things are more important than winning.
Including others. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
This is Soleil. Soleil is a spayed female, and she was brought to our shelter because unfortunately her owner has passed away. She's 5.5 years old. She's very, very excitable. So the best suited home for Soleil is one that someone who has a lot of time to take her out on off-leash areas for lots of exercise and lots of walks. We recommend a gentle leader for her because she is very strong on a leash. And also there should probably be no other animals in the house and no small children. Soleil gets along with some dogs, but not all. So when you are taking her, if you decide to take her in an off-leash area, you'll have to do gentle and slow introductions to other dogs just to be sure that it goes well and positively. If you think that Soleil might be well suited for your home, please come down and have a visit with her, spend some time, take her on a walk, and fill out an application, and we'll go from there.
And now, back to the show, only on Shaw TV.
Welcome back to the show. Well, VIU is becoming a leader when it comes to sustainability. The student union has joined forces with staff and faculty in a campaign called Ban the Bottle. To talk about the campaign, we've got here today two students from VIU who are from the student union, Kait Burgan and Patrick Barbosa, who are going to talk about the campaign. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, very, very serious question. Well, to you, Patrick. Barbosa. Any relationship to the pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean?
I wish. I'm sure there'd be a lot of royalties in it for me if it was, but I think it's just a coincidence.
Great. Well, now to the actual serious topic. So talk to us about the Ban the Bottle campaign. What is it all about?
Sure. Students nationally passed a resolution at a general meeting of the Canadian Federation of Students to take on bottled water as a national issue. Essentially, students are becoming more sustainability conscious and saw bottled water as a real opportunity to make a better move for the environment. And eliminating the sale of bottled water is a big step to improving our environment, and we consider it to be a great campaign.
So, Chris, how did the whole thing come about? I mean, how long did it take for you guys to work all this out, and why water bottles?
Why water bottles? Well, the problem with water bottles was identified by our membership, particularly at Local 61, by some of the clubs, and also just by the general members. It's quite obvious the negative impacts that bottled water has on the environment. For example, just in that one bottle right there, it's pretty well-known news that it takes about a quarter of that full of oil to produce that bottle of water.
Wow.
And our membership is not okay with that.
And I mean, you guys are the first in BC to do this, right?
Yeah.
The movement is all over Canada as well. There are a number of universities that are taking part in this as well, right?
Yep, absolutely. There's several universities in Canada who have already eliminated the sale of bottled water and are moving forward quite comfortably. Students continue to get water. Instead, they get it for free from the tap. It's just as clean as bottled water. It's more highly regulated than bottled water, and it's a free public service. I mean, you wouldn't pay for air, but somehow it's okay to charge for water. Well, water is just as necessary to your body and to your survival as air, and so it doesn't make any sense that people would pay up to 10,000 times the cost of tap water to purchase water in a bottle.
Absolutely. So how are the students reacting to all of this?
So far, the students have reacted very positively. We've had very little complaints by either students or staff, and particularly it only takes about a couple minutes to sort of sway their opinion. They come in there and they're frustrated, and then they leave and they're happy. They take home one of these water bottles, and then we'll see them carrying it around for the rest of their time at VIU. Everyone's pretty happy about it.
And so, I mean, we're almost, wrapping up soon, but I mean, how are you going to be achieving this, Patrick?
Sure. I mean, ultimately, June 2012, the university will stop selling bottled water. But in the lead up to that, the university and the Students' Union are working together to increase water infrastructure on campus. So we'll be increasing the amount of fountains that are available to students. We'll be putting the spigots so that people can fill their actual water bottles. And it's just a matter of making sure that there's access to tap water. It's a safe, clean product that's the best for the environment. It takes about 2,000 times less energy than producing a bottle of water does. And it's very clean and safe.
That's great. Well, before we leave, we have here, the staff prepared 2 cups of water that are, I have no idea which is which. So I'm going to, do a little taste test really quickly because I know we have to wrap up. And then you tell me, I'll tell you if it's tasty, which one is the tastier, and then,
Sure.
We'll go from there. So I'll try this, I don't even know which one is which, so. Okay. Interesting.
So which do you like better?
Oh, that's so hard, to be completely honest. They're very, very close. I have to be honest. Maybe this was a little bit cooler. I'm not sure, so which one is which?
This here is the tap water, and this here is the bottled water.
Oh, you're kidding.
Nope, no.
So it's actually, yeah.
And the question is bottled water worth up to 10,000 times more than tap water? Because the price difference on some bottles of water is actually 10,000 times more than that of tap. And so if you're an educated consumer, that really doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's great to hear from you guys. I think it's a great initiative. And to learn more about the initiative, you can go to their website, VIUSU. And thank you very much for being here. And now we're going to get to the break. But before then, we've got more from Alex Hicks.
The Warramps is a big family. It's people who have amputations like me. My prosthetic limbs, the Warramps gave me, helped me so much. I can run, I can horseback ride, I can swim. Your amputation doesn't hold you back. You can do whatever you want.
And now, back to the show, only on Shaw TV.
You are watching the show on Shaw TV, Channel 4 Nanaimo. We're in our studio on Beauban Drive with a mostly volunteer crew. We certainly appreciate their time, energies, and developing talent that we experience every 2 weeks here on the show. Our next interview, I will admit, is a little bit out of my league. Dan Marshall is the voice of the Nanaimo Clippers. You can also catch him on 106.9 FM, The Wolf in Nanaimo. And he's been calling games for the BCHL for years. He's the host and co-producer of Shaw TV's Game On, brings a lot of great, wacky ideas to that program. We appreciate that. Now, I'm not very well versed in the world of sports. I'm the first to admit it. Don't know if I even want to change it, but this might be the first step. I do know that hockey is Canada's national sport, or is that lacrosse?
Well, you're actually 2 for 2.
Okay, hey, maybe I got some new doors opening here.
We have 2. Hockey is our national winter sport.
Okay.
Lacrosse is our national summer sport. So we actually have 2 now, so you're right on the money. Perfect.
Now we are moving into, we just had a mic drop off here, and we're going to keep going unless I'm told that it's broken, and then we'll deal with that when that happens. We're coming into winter, that means hockey season. There's a brand new face to the Clippers. Is it safe to say this? Someone fed me these questions. That's why it sounds like I know what I'm talking about.
I think you're absolutely right. Bill Bestwick, since I came here in 2007, has been the face of the franchise since long before. Right? Since 1999, head coach, general manager, architect. Wow. A great man to work with. We had a lot of fun in my 4 years here. And now it's a new man. It's Mike Vandekamp, and he's the new architect, so to speak. And getting to know Mike and figure out the way he likes to do things, that's a lot of fun as a broadcaster, to get to have someone new to get to meet and enjoy the idiosyncrasies that you get to learn about being on the road. Just came back from the first road trip of the season, and you stay in the hotel and you enjoy spending a lot of time together and playing cards, if you will, talking hockey philosophy. So it's a whole new regime. The guy at the top really structures the entire organization in junior hockey, and it's going to be different, but change is normally good,
so
and I think in this case it is.
After energy.
Absolutely.
Very different?
Very different. Bill had a great energy, a real family-run program, and Mike has a really strong energy as well, and he's a real tactician out there, and you can watch his practices that he's a taskmaster, and the kids this year on the Clippers are going to have their eyes open, I think.
How are they playing?
Well, so far hits and miss, but it's very early, and they have to get used to a new guy. There's 8 returning players from last year, and they've done things a certain way, and now they're being told to do things a new way. So there's an adjustment time, and this year's tough in the BCHL. Only half of the teams in the conference make the playoffs. Last year it was 7 out of 8. So they have to really try and hit the ground running, but so far there's some positive signs, and it's going to be a long season, but hopefully a good one.
Any players standing out at this early stage?
Undoubtedly. Graham McCormick on defense. We were having lunch right before the season. I said, Graham, you might have to play 2/3 of the game. And he thought I was joking. And then he got off the ice panting afterwards at a post-game dinner and said, wow, Dan, I did just play 2/3 of a game on the ice.
And I wouldn't even know if that's unusual.
Well, it's a lot.
Okay.
There's 20 players. So if you're playing 2/3 of the game, you're going to be a little dog-tired by the end of the night. So watch for Graham. He's got a scholarship to the NCAA. He's going to play hockey the next 4 years after this year in Minnesota at Bemidji State, it's called. So he's one to watch. And I like the goalies this year. Billy Faust was in Penticton last year, played very well in his opener. And Chris Eiserman, the new backup, big tall guy, and he's got a scholarship as well to UMass Lowell. So he's going to play college hockey. And those guys that have those college hockey commitments made already, they're usually guys that you want to watch for.
What team should we be watching for? Who is the powerhouse in the Coastal Conference?
Well, the power is in Powell again this year, we think. 3 years in a row, Powell River has won the Coastal Conference Championship, made it to the league final, and that's a great-looking team already. Lots of NCAA committed guys. The Nanaimo connections there, 3 of their top players are from Nanaimo, so our city and their city kind of going hand in glove a bit.
Big rivalry there.
Huge rivalry there. And those 2 teams have played each other already at the opening of the season, and it's been heated. Actually, suspensions out of that game. So as the Clippers head forward, that's something to watch out for. You don't want to have your best guys not playing, but a bitter rivalry, and watch that team to be there in the end. If Nanaimo's going to have success this year, it's going to have to be because they go through Powell River, I think.
Dan, thank you.
My pleasure.
You're an expert in the topic. Your passion shines through. We appreciate your time here today.
Anytime.
And we'll be following you throughout the season. One final time now, we have the pleasure of Alex Hicks in our studio. Perfect. You're awesome. And that does bring us to the end of this 11th episode of the show right here on Shaw TV Channel 4. Alex, thank you for sharing your talent with us today. And from everyone here in the studio, thank you for your time. You can catch us on Twitter, Facebook, and of course on YouTube. Thanks for watching. I'm Kait Burgan, and we'll see you next time.
mouth full of cavities. Your soul's a bowl of jokes. Every day you remind me how I'm desperately in need. See, I got a lot of fiends around, and they're peeking through nothing new. And they see you. They see everything you do. Seeing everything from the inside out. Oh, please give me a little more, and I'll push away those baby blues. 'Cause one of these days this will die. So me, so you. See, I write a letter to a friend of mine. Tell him how much I used to love to watch him smile. You see, I haven't seen him smile in a little while. Haven't seen him smile